I was almost asleep when I heard it. This low, crunching, ripping sort of a sound. Titanic shivered just a bit, and then her engine softly stopped. Quiet for a moment, and then we could hear doors opening and voices talking softly. I lay absolutely still. I couldn't admit, even to myself, what I feared. I said to Elizabeth, it sounds as if something has happened. Faithful old Stanley, one of our bedroom stewards, came, knocked on the door. I'm calling all our people, sister. He always called me sister. Anything you'd like me to do for you? You know the ship is in trouble? No, thank you, Stan. Elizabeth and I got dressed. We said very little. What can't be serious trouble? That's nonsense. She's entirely new. But we could feel that the engines had stopped. After 4 days of that constant movement, everything was suddenly, utterly still. I went through my section, tying on life jackets, trying to reassure. Must wake up now, head upstairs, put on your warmest clothing, and do take a blanket. Everyone was quite calm. They were probably thinking, as I was, that this was too unbelievable. Everybody up to the boat decks, but just a precautionary measure. Yes, of course, just a precaution. Up you go. They were slow to go up. Some of them were joking. To the few who showed any concern, I could hear officers saying to them, plenty of boats in the vicinity. One of them will be with us shortly. Elizabeth and I went up onto the boat deck. Passengers were just wandering around, not quite sure what to do. The captain, Captain Smith, looked disturbed. Passengers would never have noticed it, but I did. Well, Jock, are you going to play your violin out here? Ah, yes, I see what you mean. Yes, a bit of a tune would cheer things up. Soon we could hear the band playing from where we stood on the deck watching. They were playing ragtime. No one seemed anxious to move. Titanic seemed so steady. Somebody pointed at a dot out on the horizon. That was probably another ship. That reassured people. They would bide their time. The first lifeboats were lowered at about 12:30. with very few people in them. Mr. Andrews, is it serious? I know, but I didn't want to put my life jacket on. Well, to be honest, I was afraid it might scare people. He told me to put it on if I valued my life and to walk about, let others see me. I turned to say something to Elizabeth, and I noticed for the first time that the forward part of the ship was lower now, much lower. For a fraction of a second, my heart stood still. Then we heard a shot. Distress rockets. Soon they were going off every few minutes. Boats began to be lowered much more quickly now. People were realizing the danger. I remember we could see women clinging to their husbands before being put into the lifeboats with their children. A mail sorter joined me and said very casually, you know, the mail is floating up to E deck now with the water. At about 1:30, Officer Moody asked if Elizabeth and I would please get into the lifeboats to show some of the third-class women that it was perfectly safe. He looked so tired, but he gave us this friendly smile. We got in.